pretty difficult, right? No, he didn't say that. But he said, you'll find me among the righteous. And then they said, okay, this is our agreement. Here, there are a couple of important benefits. Number one is if Musa alayhi salam, let's say after 3 years, after 2 years, right? After 5 years, he took his wife and said, that's it, we're done, let's go. Could the father-in-law do anything? How do we know from the nas of the Qur'an, from the text of the Qur'an, that he would not be able to do anything? He was an old man. He couldn't even go and get water for his daughters, so he wouldn't be able to do anything if he had left. But why did Musa alayhi salam leave? Trust. Fear of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Fear of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the promise, the importance of fulfilling the promise. Also, right, what can be derived from this is the father-in-law has rights on him too. That's his father-in-law, right? And the father-in-law, look at the relationship here. What did the father-in-law say to Musa alayhi salam before they agreed on this condition? وَمَا أُرِيدُ أَنْ أَشُقَّ عَلَيْكَ. I don't want to make things difficult for you. So this is the basis of the relationship that needs to be between the in-laws. Not to make things difficult on each other, right? The husband or the wife, they don't make things difficult on their in-laws, and the in-laws don't treat the others in a bad way as well. So there has to be a relationship based on love, on trust, and compassion, and understanding. And every party in the relationship needs to fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Right? Musa alayhi salam could have been like, yeah, look, I don't care if he's my father-in-law, I don't care if he's an old man, that's it. 8 years, I did 5 of them, I've done most of my time. No, but the majority of scholars say he completed not only 8, but he went above and beyond and completed the 10. Because the prophets and the salihin, they always fulfill their promises, their trust, their contracts in the best way. If there's a good way, no, they'll go above and beyond and do it in the best way. All right. Another thing that we talked about a little bit, we alluded to before, is where is Musa alayhi salam from? He's from Egypt, but where was he originally? He's among Bani Israel, brought up in Egypt. Okay, where was he raised? In the palace. So was he raised with a privileged background, or was he raised in a poor background? Oh, okay. Where did he go? To Madian. The people in Madian, the people, the family that he went to, were they poor or were they rich? How do we know?
Because they were struggling for water.
They're struggling for water. If they were rich, they could have hired somebody to go get the water. Okay? So, you see there are different cultures, different backgrounds, different socioeconomic status, rich, poor. But what overcame all of these things? The taqwa of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So, in Islam, right, we don't discourage interracial, intercultural marriages. There are challenges associated with that though, right? But if the people have taqwa of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, respect for each other, respect for each other's families, then all of these things can overcome. We can overcome all of these things. But when we set up artificial barriers, right, and we set up things like, no, I don't want this, I want this, and like make things more complicated than they need to be, all across the board, then we find ourselves in hardship. What did the father-in-law say? This is a very important thing. It's a very important concept that we need to implement in all of our relationships. Don't take advantage of the people. Don't make things difficult for your husband. Don't make things difficult for your wife, for your children, for your in-laws. Whatever ability that you have to help anybody, help them. Without any expectation of reward. When Musa alayhi salam went and he helped them get water from the well, right, did he think that they could help them in any way? No, they couldn't help themselves. He had to go and help them to get water. But why did he do that? Right? Why did he do that? Because he wanted his reward from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So when we do things for other people, even if it's our own family, right? And sometimes what will happen, realistically speaking, we'll do things for members of our family, whether they're our spouses, whether they're our parents, whether they're our in-laws, whether they're our cousins, distant cousins. We won't always get the appreciation. It doesn't matter. Our reward is of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, this is where the promises of Allah, that He will not lose any of your good deeds, come into play. So you have to put your trust and faith in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Is it easy? No, it's not. It's not easy. But the reward is very, very great. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us all the ability to fulfill this. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guide all of our affairs. Then we'll talk, anybody have any questions on this part? Okay. Next, inshallah, then what happened after the time? They left. Mas, you just read, right? Okay, well, one of the sisters, inshallah.
But when Moses came to them with our clear signs, they said,
No, 29.
Oh. Once Moses had fulfilled the term and was traveling with his family, he caught sight of a fire on the side of the mountain and said to his family, Wait, I have seen a fire. I will bring you news from there, or a burning stick for you to warn yourselves. But when he reached it, a voice called out to him from the right hand side of the valley, from a tree on the blessed ground. Moses, I am God of the Lord of the worlds. Throw down your staff. When he saw his staff moving like a snake, he fled in fear and would not return. Again he was called, Moses, draw near. Do not be afraid, for you are one of those who are safe. Put your hand inside your shirt, and it will come out white but unharmed. Hold your arm close to your side, free from all fear. These shall be 2 signs from your Lord to Pharaoh and his chiefs. They are truly wicked people. Moses said, My Lord, I killed one of their men, and I fear that they may kill me. My brother Aaron is more eloquent than I. Send him with me to help me and confirm my words. I fear they may call me a liar. God said, We shall strengthen you through your brother. We shall give you both power so that they cannot touch you. With our signs, you and those who follow you will triumph.
Alright, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala here mentioned, after he fulfilled the terms of the agreement and he went with his family, right, he saw a light. Some of the Mufassirin, they say that this whole incident that happened, in addition to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala obviously choosing Musa alayhi salam as Kalimullah and talking to Allah, talking to him, some of the Mufassirin say this is one of the fruits of fulfilling your pledges and your contracts, right? It is gaining closeness to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay? So here, what happened, Razak? What happened after he fulfilled his contract? Where did he go? Where did he go? Okay, why did he go to the mountain? He saw a fire. What did he want from the fire initially? Like, think about it. If you see fire, or what do we do when we see fire? We run away. Why did he go towards the fire? What did he need? Huh? Warm. Very good. Jazakumullah khairan, right? He wanted, oh, ajidu ala nari huda. Another place in the Quran, it says that, or guidance. Meaning if there's a fire there, there may be people there. Right? It's not a wildfire or anything like that. There's fire, there's light. Right? Maybe we can get some guidance of where we are, where we want to go, or we can find some warmth there. So when he went to the fire, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned where it was, and then he said that he called him. Right? What did Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say to Musa alayhi salam? Okay, so he told him that he is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and that he told him to throw down the staff. What did the staff or the stick turn into? Okay, the snake, and then Musa alayhi salam, he became afraid. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, Innaka min al-aminin. That you're safe. Okay? Then what did he tell him? Tell him something else. أسلك يدك في جيبك تخرج بيضاء. Okay, yeah, put your hand في جيبك, right? It's not like just put it in your pocket. It said put it in فتح العنق, right? Where you put your head in, right? Put your hand by your chest, and then he brought his hand out. What happened to his hand? Right, it was glowing, right? Without any illness, without anything. So it was glowing, and he said, هذان برهانان من ربكم إلى فرعون وملئه. These are two signs that you have from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that you're going to take to Fir'aun and his advisors. So Musa alayhi salam here, how did he respond? Did he say, okay, Allah, you've given me signs, I'm ready to go? What did he say? Okay, he killed a person, and then he asked, what did he ask for? Help and reinforcement. And who is the source of reinforcement? His brother. And why? Why? Just because his brother? Just because related to him? Who is أفصح مني لسانا. He can speak better than I can. Right? So here, a few benefits. When a command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is given, is it okay to be scared to fulfill that command? Yes. But is that fear enough to paralyze us from not acting upon it? No. So what do? We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for strength, as Musa alayhi salam did. And here, it's okay, and it's sometimes encouraged and recommended to acknowledge our own limitations and surround ourselves with people that fulfill or that fill areas of, we may have areas of weakness. Right? So we surround ourselves with people that fill those areas. We can't do everything ourselves. Okay? So what did he say? وَأَفْصَحُ مِنِّي لِسَانًا. He is more eloquent than me. But if you look at the Quran, think about this. If you look at the Quran, every dialogue and discussion, was it that Harun said to Fir'aun? Who spoke to Fir'aun? It was Musa alayhi salam. Right? But he needed that reassurance. And he needed that strength. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in Surah Maryam, alayhi salatu wasalam, he said, وَوَهَبْنَا لَهُ أَخَاهُ هَارُونَ وَزِيرًا, right? And Nabiya, right? He said that he made, out of a favor to Musa alayhi salam, he made his brother Harun a messenger and a prophet as well. Right? Even though he said he's more eloquent than me, he just needed that reassurance. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does that at times, right? Sometimes we may take someone on a journey. And we'll be like, look, I need you just in case of this reason. And that reason never comes up. But it's just comforting for us to have somebody there with us. Right? And this is a situation here. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, بِآيَاتِنَا أَنْتُمَا وَمَنِ اتَّبَعَكُمَ الْغَالِبُونَ. Right? We shall give you both power, and they cannot touch you. With our signs, you and those who follow you will triumph, will be victorious. Very important, because with the signs of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, by following His Quran and the Sunnah of His Messenger sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, the believers will always be victorious. Okay. No, sister? No, sister. Come on. Yeah, it could have been that when he went back. Yeah, it could be. Allah, I'm not sure. It's a very good question. He knew where his brother was. He knew where his brother was, and it could have been that before he went to Fir'aun, he got together with his brother, or Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent him his brother. Oh no, let me finish our question. And then they went to, because we know that they went to Fir'aun together. So what happened from Madian? It was probably on the way back. It was on the way back from Madian that this is what happened, and then he didn't know where to go. Right? He wasn't intending to go back to Egypt, but then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told him, you have to go to Egypt. So it could be that yes, he was in touch with his brother as far as where they were and where did they meet, where this happened. Allah. We know where this happened though. This happened at Mount Sinai. This is Sinai. When a person chooses the sunnah out of his own desire, as long as okay, the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ A very good question. If someone chooses the sunnah based on what sunnahs they want to follow based on their own desires, they're not following the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ, they're following their desires. So what you have to do is what comes before even implementing the sunnah. Sunnah has different levels to it. There are things in the sunnah that are recommended, okay? And there are things in the sunnah that are fard. So you have to observe the fard before the sunnah. All right, when I say sunnah here, it doesn't just mean, all right, let me give you an example. Is there any mention in the Quran of how we have to clean ourselves after we go to the bathroom? No, it's not. There's no mention, okay? But in the Sunnah, the Prophet ﷺ, we know that he's passing by 2 graves, and he said that one of them is being punished in that grave because when he went to the bathroom, he didn't prevent splashes of urine from falling on his clothes. So he's being punished in the grave for this reason. So if the person is going to be punished in the grave for that reason, is it recommended or is it obligatory to make sure that we're not, splash of urine don't come on our clothes? It's mandatory. But where do we find this? Is it in the Quran or is it in the Sunnah? It's in the Sunnah. But there are things in the Sunnah that are fard. Okay? So if the Prophet ﷺ, he encouraged certain things. Okay? Encouraging certain things, they may be recommended to do, but if it conflicts with something or something else might be take priority over that. And those are the things that are obligatory. So if there's something like, let's say, wearing white. Alright, wearing white. If we know that white, the Prophet ﷺ encouraged wearing white. But there may come a time where a person says, right, that look, a person who has authority over your parents might say, okay, look, I know it's sunnah to wear white, but when you're eating, right, wear something else, I don't want this to get dirty. At that time, what takes priority? The sunnah of wearing white or the fard of listening to your parents? The fard of listening to your parents. Are we an example? And it's just not the parents. When you get married, your wife will tell you the same thing. Okay? So this is the thing. You have to use, understand. That's why it's very, very, very important to understand and study Islam properly. Because, or else what do? You'll just take it and say, okay, I can use the sunnah here, and I can leave this fard here. No, it's not that simple. You have to be able to understand putting things together. And it's a challenge. It's a challenge and it takes time. But even if the person wants to use the sunnah, I'm not trying to say this, I'm trying to phrase my words carefully, but there may be goodness, there's goodness in that person. Even if they say, okay, you know what, okay, if I can use the sunnah here, at least they understand that the sunnah has value. Right? So we can use that to guide the person, inshallah ta'ala. Yeah.
How will you know when to make these choices?
Yeah, it takes knowledge, it takes time, it takes years of understanding the principles. That's like one of the most emphasized important sciences to study and the most difficult science to study is called usul al-fiqh. Right? The laws of jurisprudence and how we put these things together. And it takes time. It takes time, it takes understanding, it takes experience. Okay, going on. Sorry.
But when Musa came to them with our clear signs, they said, "These are mere conjuring tricks. We never heard this from our forefathers." Musa said, "My Lord knows best what comes with guidance from him and who will have the final home. Wrongdoers will never succeed." QU'RAN said, "Counselors, you have no other God that I know of except me. Aman. Light me a fire to bake clay bricks, then build me a tall building so that I may climb up to Musa's yacht. I'm convinced that he is lying." Pharaoh and his armies behaved arrogantly in the land with no right. They thought they would not be brought back to us, so we seized him and his armies and threw him into the sea. See what became of the wrongdoers? We made them leaders, calling others only to the fire, on the day of resurrection when they will not be helped. We made our rejection pursue them in this world, and on that day of resurrection they will be among the despised. After we had destroyed the earlier generations, we gave gave Musa the scripture to provide insight, guidance, and mercy for people so that they might take heed.
So Musa alayhi salam and alayhi salatu wasalam, they went to Fir'aun and ma hadha illa sihrun muftara. This is just fabricated magic. We never heard this among our ancestors and our forefathers. Things like that. And then Musa alayhi salam said that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows who's on the truth. So what did Fir'aun tell Haman to do? Build, right? Bricks and build a tall thing so that we can see the God of Musa. Why? Why did they want to see the God of Musa? What did they think he was? They thought he was lying. Good. MashaAllah. Jazakallah khair. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said that they behaved arrogantly, so he destroyed them. And a couple of things in terms of the translation. 42. Alright, we made our rejection pursue them in this world, and on the day of resurrection they will be among the despised. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, literally it says, وَأَتْبَعْنَاهُمْ فِي هَذِهِ الدُّنْيَا لَعْنَةً وَيَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ هُمْ مِنَ الْمَقْبُوحِينَ. Right? Whenever Fir'aun's name is mentioned in this world, many times people say, عَلَيْهِ لَعْنَةُ اللَّهِ. May Allah's curse be upon him. So he's always cursed and despised, and that's his reward for his actions in this world. And on the day of judgment, مَقْبُوحِينَ comes from the word qubh. Qubh is ugly. Right? Ugly, disfigured. So all of those things that he had in this world, right? You see how it turned on him, and he was drowned and he was destroyed. And until the day of judgment, he's going to be burning during the morning and the evening. And on the day of judgment, he's going to be raised up to the most severe of punishments. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us all. Then, after we had destroyed the earlier generations, we gave Musa alayhi salam the scripture to provide insight, guidance, and mercy for the people so that they may take heed. So most of the scholars say that when was the 10 commandments, when was the Torah revealed? Most of the scholars take this ayah and say after Bani Israel was saved from Fir'aun. So you see that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tested them with difficulty, then he tests them with prosperity, saying, okay, look, now Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala saved you. Now what are you going to do? Are you going to be grateful to him? And as we know that they were not grateful, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us and give us all the ability to be grateful. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in the next set of ayat, is going to mention that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he wasn't there when any of these things happened. He wasn't there. So why did Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala send the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam? This is mentioned in the next set of ayat.
Were not present on the western side of the mountain when we gave our command to Moses. You were not there. We have brought into being many generations who live long lives. You did not live among the people of Midian or recite a revelation to them. We have always sent messengers to people, nor were you present on the side of Mount Sinai when we called out to Moses. But you too have been sent as an act of grace from your Lord to give warning to people to whom no warner has come before, so that they may take heed. They may not say if a disaster should befall them as a result of what they have done with their own hands. Lord, if only you had sent us a messenger, we might have followed your message and become believers. Even now that our truth has come to them, they say, what has he not been given signs like those given to Moses? Did they not also deny the truth that was given to Moses before? They say, 2 kinds of sorcery helping each other, and we refuse to accept either of them. Say Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, then produce a book from God that gives better guidance than those 2, and I will follow it, if you are telling the truth. If they do not respond to you, you will know that they follow only their own desires. Who is further astray than the one who follows their own desires with no guidance from God? Truly God does not guide those who do wrong.
Where was Musa alayhi salam given scripture? Mount Sinai, right? Here it says, وَمَا كُنْتَ بِجَانِبِ الطُّورِ إِذْ نَادَيْنَا وَلَكِنْ رَحْمَةٍ مِّن رَبِّكَ. Why was the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam sent? okay, as a mercy. And also, what does it say? As an act of grace and mercy from your Lord, to give warning to a people to whom no warner has come before, so that they may take heed and may not say. There's no excuse after the coming of the Prophet ﷺ. There's no excuse if someone say, "Oh Allah, if you sent us a warner, we would have been guided." We all have warners. We've all been warned, right? And it's our responsibility to warn others. Okay. What did they say about the sign of Musa alayhi salam? Right? Why did they say? What did they say to the Prophet ﷺ about Musa alayhi salam signs? Yeah. So they said that if you were sent with the same, why hasn't he been given signs like Musa alayhi salam? So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is like, okay, 1 second. What did they say when Musa alayhi salam was given these signs? Did they believe in the signs that Musa alayhi salam was given? No. Then some of them said, okay, hold on. No, they take a step back too, and they're like, these are two types of magic that are helping each other. What did the Prophet ﷺ, he challenged them. And he said, okay, look, if you want to bring something, what did he tell them? Bring something better, and I'll follow you. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, فَإِن لَمْ يَسْتَجِيبُوا لَكَ فَاعْلَمْ أَنَّمَا يَتَّبِعُونَ أَهْوَاءَهُمْ بِغَيْرِ عِلْمٍ وَمَنْ أَضَلُّ مَمَّنِ اتَّبَعَ هَوَاهُ بِغَيْرِ هُدًى مِنَ اللَّهِ. What do they do? If they can't answer you, and they'll never be able to answer you, what do these people follow? Their desires. And this is a rhetorical question, right? Where it says, who is further astray than the one who follows his own desires with no guidance from Allah? وَمَنْ أَضَلُّ means there's no one that is more astray than the one who follows his desires besides other than guidance from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala here, He calls them the zalimeen. They're oppressing themselves because they're taking the rights of Allah, they're taking the rights of revelation, and where are they placing them? Who are they giving those rights to? Themselves? Are you there? Their desires. Very good, mashallah. They're taking rights from Allah. They're taking rights from the revelation, and they're placing them to their desires, their own passions. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us all. This is why we have to be very careful. Even if it comes to sunnah and things like that, we can't be selectively following what we want to follow, because that can be very easy that we're taking our desires as God decides, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay, what we're going to do now is we're going to take a break. Alright, we're going to take a 10-minute break. We finished the story of Musa alayhi salam from Surah Al-Qasas. The surah is going to shift in another direction now. So what we'll do is we'll take a 10-minute break, inshallah, and we'll come back and we'll finish the surah and we'll start Surah Al-Kabut as well, inshallah ta'ala. Jazakumullah khair. Be back in 10 minutes, inshallah. Jazakumullah khair.